Hello boxing fans, here with Shannon Courtenay. Shannon, is fight week. Sort of brings a smile to your face when you say that. Last time around, unfortunately, I was there when the news broke, and yeah, it wasn't great, but we're here now. You're finally here. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel sharp. I feel ready. You know, it's been over a year out due to injury, so I'm buzzing to be back. Obviously, you was there last time. What happened. It was a bit gutting, but obviously it wasn't meant to be that day, was it?
No, boxing brings new hurdles every day. You never know what boxing's going to bring to you. But look, you're here now. You've got this fight day. You've been waiting a long time. I know you and H have been sort of sharpening the tools. Just talk to me about the relationship with H and the relationship with the gym and how that's going so far.
H isn't just my coach. He's family. He's like a big brother to me. And it isn't just about boxing with him. It's about life. People think I might be lying when I say this. He's taught me everything to do with boxing in the last however long, but it's taught me so much about life outside the ring and how to get my head in a good place and to help me evolve as a person, to be honest. I'm always grateful for that, and he's always got my back even when I'm not around. I know he's always holding it down for me when I'm not around, so that's a beautiful thing, to have that kind of trust in someone. It's a nice feeling, and especially when you're going to war with someone, when you know that like H and Troy got your back all the time, that's a good feeling.
Hey, just jump in if you can. Just listen, I've obviously known you for a long time, and I've seen your progression as well in that gym. Bringing someone through like Shannon, who's potentially got huge fights after this, world title fights after this. How big of a fighter is she when you train the other fighters as well in that gym?
Shannon has her own speciality as an individual. I think one thing people forget, right, is that a lot of fighters, right, they're growing with you in the gym, and they're growing older. They're going through life as well. As they're getting older in the gym, they come in sometimes when they're like 22, 25, 23, do you understand? And then you've got 5 years worth of relationship with them whilst they're growing up and understanding life as well as progressing in boxing. I've said hands down, from all the people I've done pads with Joe Joyce, you know the names I've done. When Shannon lands, right? And she's a very, very, very big hitter. I love how her progression as a person has come along, number one, her understanding, how she's changed and she's become more free-minded in the sense of even learning, right? A lot of people, when they've got stubborn minds and they decide that they don't want something to work for them, they're not going to let it work. They're not going to embrace it. They're not going to do any of that. But we've been in the gym drilling and working and practicing on things, and a lot of that is a round of applause to Shannon, because, like I said, we have built a good relationship, and that is on certain times where it's like, Shannon, this is what we're going to try, and Shannon be like, I'm not doing it, and it's like, Shannon, you're doing it, yeah. And to be fair, you know what's lovely, beautiful and humble about it is that she's turned around and said, you know what, H, I didn't think that would work, and it's absolutely worked. We've had camps and spars where it's like, Shannon, this is what we trained for, and it's why I'm in the habit of kind of videoing most things. So now, even if it's combination on pads or it's certain things that she's done in the ring, then when she's playing it back and she's looking at it, that's the same combination she landed, or that's the same setup she landed, it builds that confidence and it builds that growth and it builds that trust, which, alhamdulillah, I think is the most important thing, is that trust, to be like, 100%. That did work.
Shannon, obviously don't want to look past this fight, but there's a massive carrot dangling for yourself. Obviously, Nina Hughes winning the title. You've got, former rivals on this card in Ebanie Bridges, but I'm sure you're looking just at this fight. But there is a carrot dangling for yourself. How much of a distraction is that, or is that not a distraction? It's
not a distraction, because you're right, the carrot's dangling, but if I don't get through Saturday, the carrot's gone. So I've got to just focus purely on Saturday. If I was to not focus on Saturday, it'd almost be ignorant on Gemma, because she's a good opponent. And listen, I've had a year out. I need to be fully focused on the job at hand. It's not a walkover fight, which a lot of people would ask for, but H wouldn't let me have a walkover fight even if I asked him, because he's like, no, we bring the heat, we bring the fight, and we know we've got a massive year ahead of us, so let's go straight in with a hard fight, because I'm only going to get tested. He brings in sparring that's going to test me, it's going to hurt me on purpose, so that come fight night, I'm ready for war, I'm conditioned for them things. He'll put me through hell in training, where I'm literally like bruised and battered and whatever, but come fight night, I'm ready. So that's a good way about doing it.
Obviously, fighters don't want to talk about their opponent after this opponent, but I'm going to ask you. There's obviously Ebanie Bridges here. There's Nina Hughes, who won the title against Jamie Mitchell a couple of weeks ago. When you look at the scene and when you look at Shannon and what she can produce in the gym, How much do you just want in these big fights eventually and winning up these titles?
When you look at that scene, number one, right, I see a lot of characters. When analysing each of their characters, right, that whole division isn't spoken about unless you mention Shannon Courtenay's name. Exactly, that's a fair point. And Shannon brings that spice to that game. Shannon's got so much more going on for her compared to the others. I'm talking about she has kind of embraced that celeb world, so it's harder for her to stay focused when she's got so much other things going on that she can commit to outside of boxing. It's a hard job trying to grab Shannon in to be like, listen, people still want to come after you, and I see a lot of that. I see when I'm watching other people do their interviews and stuff, it's like I can see they kind of want to be Shannon, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? They kind of want to be Shannon. I think there's a little bit of envy there and all the rest of it. It's about boxing and it's about boxing's progression. It's not about anybody's sitcom series of what happened in this episode between Ebanie Bridges and Shannon and all the rest of it. And I'm far from that. Alhamdulillah, I've never been one to bitch, so I'm not in that. Do you know what I mean? So my thing is, who's got the title? Okay, cool. Ebanie Bridges was old, so who's got titles? Who's got titles? Because ultimately, look, we leave our families, we leave our loved ones. She needs to get paid, because if she's putting her health on the line, she needs to get paid. And it's about where's the big fights. That's what we want to talk about, is where's the big fights. But 100% that is a big fight, and it does sell. And maybe there's needle there. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. Do you know what I mean? But she don't hold no animosity in her heart towards no one other than who she's going to fight come Saturday. Are you with me? Saturday's a big fight for her, because as well as it being the comeback fight, she's got stuff that she wants to show herself that she's put into practice. It's not exactly like a journey. Gemma's not a journey woman. Do you know what I mean? She's going to come. She's going to be game, and I want to see glimpses of stuff that we've actually put together.
Finally, before I let you guys go, I know they're going to start the press conference. A lot of talk now that Fury Usyk's going to be done. I've got two boxing kids here, so I might as well talk to you guys about it. Talk to me about that fight. What happens in that fight, Shannon? You first.
Fury and Usyk? Yeah. What has been done?
Well, it's close to being done.
I'll believe it when I see it.
If it does get done, what happens?
If. I think you can never ever write off Fury.
Yeah.
No matter who he
Fury
puts in front
way.
of him, he's going to win. And listen, Usyk's an incredible fighter, and he's a magician in the way that it's like a puzzle. He figures you out. You can't figure out Fury. No. Especially now he's got that Kronk mentality about him, and he punches with spite. Listen, if he wanted to, he could have got Derek out there the other day. He was never going to, because he's got love for Del Boy, trust me. So, yeah, Fury all the way.
Yeah, you're going Fury as well, right?
I'm going Fury as well. I think people underestimate, and I think Fury's definitely holds down a lot of his technical abilities. Very, very, very technical. But people buy into his whole character and all the rest of it. But bigger fight than Fury Usyk's going to be Shannon Courtenay versus Gemma Ruig this Saturday. Shout out Faircom International. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys. I know the press conference is going to start. Shannon Courtenay, thank you very much. Dr.